So I watch a lot of, you know, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, of course. And I see a lot of financial advice videos, okay? Rich people telling you how to get rich and all that stuff. And that sounds logical. You want to get rich, listen to rich people. And of course, I don't really want to get rich so much as I'm tired. I want to get into a position where I don't have to destroy what's left of me to survive. I mean, it seems kind of counterintuitive, right? Okay, die to live. Yeah. Anyway, and they all say pretty much the same thing, which would sound like they know what they're talking about, and they do. They really do. There's a problem with the things they're saying, though. Okay, you take money that you've borrowed, put it into an interest-bearing account, or invest it in a business that's going to give you a return. Okay, or start your own business that's going to give you a return. There's an immediate problem with that, though. The way investments work, unless you just hit that investment that starts doubling your money and then doubling it again, your return is not going to maintenance that loan. Okay, and how do you get such a loan? Well, they all say the same thing. Leveraged asset. Well, I'm somebody who doesn't have leverageable assets. Okay, closest thing I've got is a 2019 Honda Shadow that, even in pristine condition, I might be able to get a $4,000 loan for. That's not going to help me much. Okay, even if I invested that, the return would be so low that when I got that payout, I'd be able to buy a steak dinner. I'd have to leave that alone for 40 or 50 years with compound interest just for it to allow me to live out the next 30 or 40 years of my life. And that's if I lived that long. Okay, but again, leverageable assets. You have to have that. Okay, well, if you don't have that, you got to go buy it. Well, how do you do that? Well, they're going to tell you to borrow money. With what? A leverageable asset. You know, the one that you don't have. Well, how do you get that? With money. Well, how do you get the money? You don't have it. You don't make enough at your job. You can't get a job that pays more. I've been trying for a year. Well, you got to borrow the money with a leveraged asset. So it's just this big circle argument. Okay. But that's the thing, okay? If you have a leverageable asset, you borrow the money and you invest that money into something that's going to give you a return. Again, that return is not going to maintenance the loan, so you will lose whatever you leveraged while you're making money. And eventually you'll get it all back. The money will build and you'll actually start, but you will lose what you leveraged. Except in one case. The one thing that absolutely every single one of these rich people leave out when they're giving you these talks. Elon Musk, which he doesn't do a whole lot of talking on that. Tony Robbins, Donald Trump, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Every single one of them has one thing in common. Even Steve Harvey. He talks about, well, this is how I got rich. I started at nothing, I built myself up, and now I'm rich. And this is how I did it. But they all leave out this one crucial piece of information that they all have in common. Every single one of them. They had help. Every single one of them was at nothing, except for Donald Trump, because he grew up with money. Help. Anyway. They say they started at nothing until someone with either more or a different resource helped them. Every single one of them. Even Elon Musk. The man is a trillionaire now. Or at least last I heard, he's a trillionaire. And if it weren't for that one person that helped him, he wouldn't be. He'd be just another person nobody knows anything about, working a job that's killing him with a mind that's capable of more than any job he could ever work would require. Steve Harvey, guess what? Got help. He talks like he did it on his own, talks like he did it on his own. But he didn't. He got one person who believed in him and said, I'm going to help him. And he got that help. And guess what? Now he's rich. No one gets rich on their own. No one. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm just tired of working for nothing. Working just enough where I don't starve to death. And I've been there. I've been starving before. I have much the same story as Steve Harvey as far as all that goes. Poverty, been homeless, been starving, had clothes so tattered and torn that if a cop looked at me the right way, I could have gone to jail for indecent exposure. But I never had help. Okay. Now I know it sounds like I'm making this about me, but this is an example. People who are poor, well, some of them are poor because they make stupid decisions. Some, not all. Many people who are poor aren't poor because they make stupid decisions. They're poor because they don't have anybody to help them. They don't get that opportunity to do more than just work themselves to death for nothing. So next time you rich people look at poor people and say, oh, it's because you didn't do this, remember where you got your start. You got your start because someone helped you. And next time you poor people look at a rich person and say, I'm doing all the things that they said to do and I'm still not rich, what's wrong with me? It's not you, it's them. They're lying. Well, they're not really lying. They're just not giving you all the pertinent information. You're poor. Well, the ones who don't make stupid decisions, you are poor because you don't have the help that the rich people did. Every single rich person, if you talk to them how they got their start, go before that and they'll tell you how someone helped them. Anyway, just chew on that for a while.